is a young Nepali agriculturalist, and he's developed an online mentoring program to build the skills of young Nepalese agricultural professionals. Daphne is a youth mentee, and together with her mentor, Peace, she's restoring degraded riverbanks in western Uganda. Freddy is a young Peruvian forest engineer, and at a networking event at the 2014 Global Landscapes Forum in Lima, he met Robin, a C4 researcher. And together, they have helped Peruvian farmers regenerating their plots, and soon their work will be published in a journal. Last year, 10 young innovators dreamt up an interactive toolkit for integrated catchment management in partnership with Alan Nicol from the International Water Management Institute. And they're preparing to pilot the toolkit in Vietnam and in Ethiopia next year. Over 150 youth alumni, each taking their newly learned skills and landscape knowledge back to their home countries. They have stayed connected, applying what they learned with us in their work, study, and their daily lives as young landscape practitioners. This is the Youth and Landscapes Initiative. It's a partnership between IFSA, the International Forestry Students Association, Gaia, the Global Agroecology Alliance, YPART, Young Professionals for Agricultural Development, and together we represent over 18,000 young people working and studying in agriculture, forestry, and agroecology. Together we unite and empower people aged between 18 and 35 from diverse backgrounds and around the world to have a voice. And every year we bring some of these bright young people to the Global Landscapes Forum, where we run workshops, a mentoring program, a youth session. We plug youth into leadership positions throughout the conference, and you may have seen some young people facilitating or helping out with sessions today. We help young people feel supported, heard, valued, seen, and proud to speak for themselves, and we help them find the strength and capacity to take action. We create this space for young participants to actively engage throughout the GLF. And these stories are just some of the real and very tangible examples of our program and how it reaches far beyond the walls of a conference each year. And these are just some of the many ways that we are creating a global community of youth and a community that is working to affect meaningful and positive change across our landscapes and livelihoods. The Youth and Landscapes Initiative has been a part of the Global Landscapes Forum from the start, and since our first program in Warsaw, we have been developing the international capacity of hundreds of GLF delegates through skill building, networking, mentoring, and leadership development. And this year, we have pioneered a whole new approach to designing a conference session where we mobilized our 150 alumni across the world to collaborate virtually across multiple time zones and social media platforms in only 3 weeks to design the youth session that many of you may have attended today. So this is the level of engagement and collaboration that we should all aspire to if we really want to call ourselves a global landscapes forum. And our program is not just about youth, it's about bringing people together to collaborate across boundaries, sectors, and generations in order to achieve a sustainable future for our global and local landscapes. So we're here bringing key issues that affect not only youth, but the societies that we all live in, from rural-urban migration to education and training to the table. And I'm not going to stand here before you and try to convince you of how important young people are, how we need to engage with, mentor, and support youth as emerging landscape leaders. I'm not going to go on about how the only way to address intergenerational issues, such as climate change, is by meaningfully involving the generations that will inherit these challenges and experience the impacts that they will bring. Because you know this, and I know this, and we've had this conversation before. And our world is changing rapidly in ways that we could never have imagined. Environmental degradation and political upheaval and social unrest. And yet, amidst all of this, it is increasingly the younger demographics who are standing out as a voice for hope and for the future we want to imagine. We need to be on the playing field and not on the sidelines. And we are well beyond just talking. I stand here today calling all of us to action. So the GLF wants to connect 1 billion people by 2020 to create a meaningful movement. the Youth and Landscapes Initiative must not continue to just be a part of that vision. It must be a core pillar, because to be a core pillar, we need to be working on a few things. So first, to reach 1 billion people, we need to massively boost the initiative capacity, because we operate on a tiny budget with hundreds and even thousands of hours that we've dedicated on volunteer time. And it would be it's an incredible feat to accomplish what we've done with a lot of volunteer time, but it's becoming unsustainable the bigger we grow. And to achieve our shared vision, we need a full-time global coordinator. And we have so many ideas that we'd like to implement, but we just don't have the resources to work with them. We want to create a toolkit that enables our youth community to take what we've learned and adapt it and apply it in their own communities around the world. And this is how you affect climate change at the scale of 1 billion people. Also, to ensure this 1 billion-person movement that is actually meaningful, if it's going to be meaningful, it needs to go beyond the conference walls and enter the everyday lives of young people and everybody, like even in this room in general. So that's why we're asking to commit resources to a 12-month fellowship program that will enable emerging landscape leaders to receive training and mentoring and internet partner organizations, seed fund their ideas, and attend GLF events. And we need an actual seat at the table. And I think that by we, I also mean everybody in this room. We all need to be considered in future decision making so that it's made better. Our input, if we really want to work together to change the world, you have to let us in. And I'm saying again, all of the people in this room, so indigenous leaders and gender groups, it's not just the youth. So you've seen what we can do, and from developing our program here in Marrakesh in just 3 short weeks to creating global movement and community of youth in just 3 years. I was going to close by saying, imagine what we can do if we work together. But you know what? It's going to take more than imagination to connect 1 billion people. It's going to take much more than just talk to affect real world change. So on behalf of youth and landscapes around the world, I stand here and ask you all to join us in taking action. Somebody once said that a tree is just as strong as the forest that surrounds it. So let's be that forest, and let's be that forest together.